I'm Amy of Handmaiden. I am based down the bottom of the South Island of New Zealand. This is my monthly podcast where I talk about what I've been making in the past month and share with you what I've been creating, and if there's anything new on the Handmaiden website, I normally talk about it on here as well. So, August this year is going so fast. Recently off my needles is this wee tee that I'm wearing. It is knitted up, it's an 8-ply merino linen blend, so it was a nice quick knit, and especially not having to knit sleeves. This pattern is called, I'm going to say, Hiesu Sweater by Vera. I'll show you the pattern. Here we go. It was lovely. Yeah, it's a really fun stitch pattern. I won't tell you all about it because that might give away too much of the pattern, but super simple, easy to remember, and it's literally a big like rectangle / square, and you've picked up and put the rib sleeve on, like you haven't actually made a sleeve or anything. It's just a big square front back. Well, there is shaping to make the neck sit in nice shape. Yeah, and it was a really fun construction. So you started with the back and did your short rows here, and then picked up along here to start your front section. So you do like the left front and then the right front, and when you'd finished shaping here, you just were able to go round and round. Yeah, super fun. Looking forward to wearing this probably in the summer. It's still a bit cooler and wintry here in Southland, but I'm braving it just so I can show you today. This is my another wee Sophie Scarf. They're super easy, petite knit. So yeah, Vera Valamarki. I'll link all the patterns I talk about in the show notes below the video in case you're interested. Highly recommend. My only, while I did put the positive ease in, I would have loved if my sleeves were longer, like they sit on Vera. I think if I would have had to made a much bigger size to be able to get the longer sleeves, especially with it being square. I have seen, since going back and looking at the projects in Ravelry, quite a few people picked up the stitches and actually knitted sleeve in this pattern and then put the rib on, because they obviously weren't happy with the sleeve length either. That would be my only thing I'd do a wee bit different next time. Yeah, otherwise happy with it. It's just very delicious and soft merino linen, and it's undyed. I decided I want to try and do mine quite creamy natural again like Vera's. Yeah. Other finished objects is Lily's sweater. Probably if you've followed me personally on Instagram, I shared it on there. Lily's sweater. So Lily helped me dye these 3 skeins of yarn in her favourite colours, and it's on the sparkle sock base that I use for the self-striping yarn. I did have a pattern in my Ravelry queue for a nice simple raglan, but because it's 4-ply yarn, I knew it was going to take me a wee while to knit this for Lily, and her current sweaters are a bit short in the sleeves and that for her. And so, yeah, just randomly one weekend, I was like, why don't I chuck it on my knitting machine? Because I knit my lots of socks on the knitting machine. It's made for the 4-ply sock yarn, so not my circular one, my pass-up double bed knitting machine. And so I wrote a pattern. Yeah, it's not like a normal knitting pattern. It was pretty much just lots of maths. I drew a shape and mathed how many rows and stitches would make it the right size for Lily's body. And then I had a wee play at switching the colour to kind of subtly make the colour change a wee bit more subtle rather than a really hard block, which was not very achievable with a really strong pink, but I think it looks cool. Lily's very happy with it. Yeah, super basic raglan. I picked up and put the neckband rib by hand after I'd seamed all the sweater together, but the body and cuff ribs were all done on my knitting machine as I went, because I started here, did the rib, yeah. Super fun label. Yeah, I'm happy with that, and Lily loves it. So, I'm thinking, what else have I also knit a hot water bottle cover on the knitting machine. I was asked for a hottie cover because they're so much more snuggly when they're knitted and made out of wool and stuff. Again, wanted to do it quickly because there's many things that I want to do. So I whipped it up on the passive knitting machine as well. I think you could find a YouTube video. But again, I just mathed it on the size of the hot water bottle. There is a hot water bottle cover I've made before, the Maker one, that hottie cover pattern, would highly recommend. It's free on Ravelry, and it gives you two options to knit it flat and knit it in the round. I've knitted it in the round, and you do an awesome seamless like cast on here and start knitting in the round from the bottom of the hottie cover. Highly recommend that. I'll link that in the show notes. But yeah, I basically made a hottie bottle cover like this, but whipped it up on the knitting machine so that it was done in a day. Yeah. Think that's all my finished objects. Currently on my needles is the Autumn League Pullover by Alex. Here we go. Autumn League Pullover. I've knit this pattern a few times. This will be my third make of that pattern, and I'm making it with an 8-ply 100% alpaca yarn. This is pre-loved. I made the balloon sleeve Cardi out of it, a petite knit pattern again. I loved it to start with, and then it grew and grew, and I just didn't wear it anymore. I just I'd put the Cardi on with my outfit and it wouldn't be right, so I'd put it back in the drawer, and I was like, that is such a waste. So I finally built up the courage and undid the whole Cardi, and I've rebuilt it all up, and I feel I want to use it because it's so beautiful and soft. This time I hand dyed some mohair silk skeins, and I'm holding it double with the alpaca in the hope that it won't give quite as much as the Cardi did. Yeah, like I've done my gauge swatch, and I guess like the yarn's been worn as a cardigan and washed and all that before, so my thinking was it might not grow quite so much this time. And the Autumn League pullover is quite a nice oversized baggy kind of raglan. So yeah, hopefully it's better suited. Here is my progress. I absolutely love this little simple crossover that's in the pattern. Yeah, love it. And it's knitting up quite nice, like subtly speckly with that with the mohair that I hand dyed. Nice and light. I thought it just looked nice with my jeans. Doing some quite simple plain colours at the moment, not very colourful, but that's okay. Because the yarn has been pre-loved, I can see how the stitches they're not quite as nice as if it was a new ball of yarn, but I'm hoping with wearing and blocking it might settle out a wee bit more. Yeah, let you know how that goes. Hopefully next month. I would love to be wearing this one right now. Autumn League pullover. And then I have started a Hexi Cardi. I caught up with my mum, and she is making a Hexi Cardi, and then she mentioned that my sister was wanting to cast on one as well, so we might have a whole family of Hexi Cardis soon. For those of you that haven't seen them or know about the construction of them, you basically make a granny square hexagon, so it's like a granny square but it's got 6 shoved into your center circle, and you just keep going around and around until the hexagon is the size that you would like it, and you make 2 of these. I'm making two at a time so that I can make them about the same, so I can make the colours quite similar. Make two hexagons, and then they get seamed at the back, and obviously seam the top of your sleeves there, like over your shoulders, and you'd leave the front so it can open like a cardigan. At the moment it looks like it would fit Lily's doll or something. But yes, that's my progress. Maybe when I've made a bit more it might make more sense, or totally go Google Hexi Cardi and you can see them. There's some gorgeous rainbow ones. I'm using all my hand spun for this project. Nearly finished that hand spun ball, so I can't show you quite how awesome how it colour changed, but it was blue around there. And then my nice plain hand spun naturals. There's quite a few shades of brownie natural fleeces, and then another colour changing fun cool one. This is hand spun from Tour de Fleece this year. I think I talked about that in the last podcast. While the Tour de Fleece, Tour de France bicycles are cycling, lots of spinners get on their spinning wheels and spin fleece. I was part of the Stash Dashes. Basically use up some of the fluff that I already have. And yeah, I'll show you the other skeins that I knitted for Tour de Fleece. Spun. Here are my other Tour de Fleece spins. This one I think is going to go into the Hexi Cardi. It's the kind of in the colourway that I'm going for. That one, they were all very different fibres. Like this one's Polworth and Dorset. And then these ones, more bluey greens. These ones are beautiful. They got like silk in them. I don't know if it shows how shiny. Yeah, that was my Tour de Fleece spinning. Happy with what I achieved. I should mention my project bag. This is a gorgeous bag from Wanda. Thank you, Wanda. If you want the goods, you need to go find Wanda on Trademe. She is on Instagram and Facebook, but not so active. Like her actual project bags, the things she's making, are for sale on Trademe. This bag in particular has a super cool little ring there that you could put stitch markers or whatever you feel like putting on there. It was pink and orange, and they're my favourite colours, so that I feel like she'd made it for me. Thank you, Wanda. Love it. And I truly appreciate the amount of time and effort that goes into it, like making my own bags and sewing my own quilts and things. Like the amount of effort that goes into making something like this, I truly appreciate, and I love supporting other makers, yeah, to do what they love doing. I think we should do what's new on the website, or like even new in this room, my office. I'm back in my office and all the shelving is up. Eventually we're going to have little glass sliders on these cupboards here. Finally got all my knitting and spinning books back up. Yeah, very happy to be back in here and have the space coming back together. So, website. Lots of gobstopper balls, that's what I've been doing. And they've all got their little like lollipop candy markers that their colourways are inspired from. Oh, delicious. They always look so good when I'm putting them in a basket. It's like a basket of candies. Yes, so some are on the website, and otherwise we have the Gore Spinners open day, October the 4th of October, that's a Saturday, and I'll be taking lots of stock to that, so you can come find them there if they're not on the website. Gore's open day, again I'll link that down there, down in the show notes below, will be at the Town and Country Club from 10 o'clock on the 4th of October. And then the club Club colourway that went out for August, so the very beginning of this month. Beautiful fibre and hand-dyed yarn went out, and August's birth flower is poppy and gladioli. So I went quite, yeah, I had reds in mind of poppies, and then the gladioli are in like peaches and pinks. And the fibre base I used for Fibre Club is Anna Grattan's Corridale, but the sprinkle blend, like it's got little sprinkles of blue and red and orange and yellow, like little tiny nippy flecks. And then this, I don't have a skein of the yarn to show you, they're all gone, but that was also on a nip, like sprinkly kind of base, and lots of wee nips in it. Yes, very happy with how that turned out. Matches my project bag. Favourite colours. Yeah, it was so gorgeous to spin as well. I spun 100 grams up and made the most beautiful skein that I don't have as well. That's also sold. But it looked so good spun up. Yeah. There's still, maybe last month I said about closing down the Fibre Club, but there's definitely maybe one yarn club left and maybe a couple of spots in the Fibre Club for September's colourway. So yeah, if you're quick enough and jump on the website, you might be able to grab a spot for September's colourway. That was August. And then the other things I've been working on the website, there's a couple of wee cute markers. Again, they're always so hard to show on here. Milkshakes. And these ones are wee love letters, so cute. And those are on the lobster claw clasps, whereas that's a lever back clasp. Talking about markers, I have released the 2025 Advent that I'm doing for Handmaiden this year. It's not yarn and it's not fibre, it's stitch markers and notions. And it's going to be based on crystals and gemstones, like gemstone inspired. So another reason to show you the markers. It's going to be made up of the different types of markers. So those are the like snag free markers. They're little rings that have a little bead where the jump ring joins so that it doesn't catch on your yarn and your project. And then again, lever back markers, and these are gemstones. So these aren't the markers that are going to be in the Advent, but they are similar. Like this is kind of the idea of what you might be getting in there. All the stuff in the Advent is going to be semi-precious stones, like little crystals and things like that. Charms on the markers. Like this one's got amethyst and tiger's eye and those little gemstone markers. But it'll be a mixture of like beaded markers. See, I've used like a coated wire and beaded those markers. So the Advent will be a mixture of the beaded markers, the snag-free markers, lever back markers, and even the wee lobster claw clasp on the markers. All in a themed project bag, and there's definitely some other fun themed extras that I've got sorted that are going in there as well. There are a few of those Advents left. Again, yeah, snap them up while you can, because I won't be adding any more to the shop when they're sold out. Got a bit of a green theme going on today. Love how this always happens. Markers, yes. What else? I guess there's talking about the Gore Open Day and stuff. There's also an event happening in Dunedin in about a month from now. Jan from Crofters Yarn and Mary from Want Need Crave have got together and organised a yarny festival. So they're going to have some traders there, and they're going to have, they've got workshops and stuff signed up in a really cool space in Dunedin. I think they're calling it Wool You Dunedin, and that's the 19th to the 20th of September, which is a Friday, Saturday that it's going to run over. So if you're in Dunedin or going to be, or can travel to Dunedin for that weekend, you should totally go and check that out and support these passionate people that, yeah, have the energy to organise these awesome events. We have to support them, otherwise they won't keep doing it. Yeah, Will You Dunedin. I'll link it down in the show notes as well if you're able to go to that. And then the Kiwi Mail, so the Kiwi Make Along, that lots of Kiwi podcasters were getting behind. I did my sheepy blanket, finished that for the Make Along. It ends at the end of August, so if you were crafting something for that Make Along, remember to hashtag it on Instagram, your finished objects, hashtag Kiwi Mail and hashtag Kiwi Mail 2025, or get on the Ravelry group that's under Strawberry Patches and post your finished object in there, because I'd hate for you to miss out on winning an awesome giveaway. There's plenty of those. Just post your finished object. Yeah, I feel like I've talked long enough, and that might be all from me this month. I'm off to wind more gobstopper balls. This is how it looks, and this is how long it is before I wind it into a pretty ball. Yes, more of those to wind, and then, because my office is pretty much together now, I'm going to get my circular sock knitting machine and set it back up in here so it has a special place. So thanks for watching again this month. If you're new, thank you for joining us. Catch you next month with some more makes. Take care.